Hey, good Thursday afternoon, everyone. I'm State Representative Brad Halbrook, live here at the Stratton Complex on day 6 of Veto session of the second week. We just want to kind of give you a real quick update. We got 3 or 4 issues that we want to talk about. Just kind of give a brief session update of what happened. Gentlemen, last night, well, let me first introduce Leader Freeze, Leader McLaughlin, Leader Chairman Miller, and Leader Niemerg. I think I got it that time, gentlemen. So with that, last night we saw the Energy Omnibus Bill, a 1,000-page bill, just a massive, well, I'll just say it's just going to be a massive rate increase, and then we'll just kind of throw it open for discussion. A 1,000-page bill, it went out of the House last night, strictly on party line 70-37. It's now headed to the Senate for them to take up probably this afternoon. So with that, left to right, how do we want to do this? I'll just throw it open. Anybody want to discuss the energy stuff? Freeze?
So it's all about battery storage, and unfortunately, the reason everybody's rates went up this summer is because it's a supply and demand issue. We are taking supply off the grid. We're not replacing it. This bill was all about battery storage, and batteries do not put power on the grid. They actually take power off the grid because you got to charge them. And then when it does go back onto the grid, you do not get 100% out of it what you put in it. So again, it's going to amount to a rate increase.
Okay. Leader McLaughlin.
Yeah, I said on the floor, please stop helping utility ratepayers. Every time the Democrats help, it hurts, and it hurts in higher rates. If their policies worked, why haven't they for the last 20 years? Madigan just went to prison because he was involved in shenanigans with a power company executive. That doesn't tell you everything you need to know. Please stop helping your well-intentioned, bad, expensive ideas no one can afford.
Right, and gentlemen, this is the third massive bill in 10 years, starting with FEJA, then CEJA in 2021, and now this SURGA bill, I call it. It just keeps driving the costs up for all of us. Gentlemen, I'll go to Adam and then maybe close with Chris on this subject.
Yeah, folks, it's really a situation where you have the Green New scam is continually perpetuated here in the state of Illinois, and rather than put ratepayers first and Illinois citizens, working class families that are trying to make ends meet, they're putting a woke green agenda over middle class citizens just trying to pay their power bills. So that's really what it comes down to. It's a political ideology, and it's being proposed and passed here in the state of Illinois, and we're paying the price.
Yeah. Chris, closing comments on energy.
Well, they just continue to double down on stupid, and the only reason why we have the highest rates in the history as far as I can remember is because the Democrats have extremely bad ideas when it comes to powering the grid here in the state of Illinois. We have an abundance of natural resources. We've got coal, we've got natural gas, we've got nuclear, and for some reason they want to go off into their green fantasy where there's sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows that don't work. They've been proven not to work. I mean, this is like the third fix on this. And the bottom line is every time that they fix something, quote unquote, your rates go up. And so it's very predictable that we're going to see another massive rate hike as a result of J.B. Pritzker and the dangerous Democrats' bad public policy when it comes to energy.
Yeah, the bottom line, I think, on this, it's an $8 billion increase to the electric rate payers in the state of Illinois to finance this green new climate agenda that they have. So we know at least 70 of them worship at the altar of the green god, and it's just unfortunate for the ratepayers in the state of Illinois. Guys, issue 2 is about ICE. HB 1312 is a bill that's in the Senate. It's a gut and replace amendment to a bill that is titled the State Commemorative Date Act. And they want to have some anti-ICE measures in that. Anybody want to comment, Leader McLaughlin?
Yeah, well, first of all, guys, we had this little thing called the Civil War a few years back, where the federal government's rules are supreme over state, state over county, county over municipality and township. The governor and the Democrats in Illinois have been ignoring federal legislation since the new president and new administrations come in. This recent derivation is where they're trying to ban federal officers that are trying to uphold the law and protect citizens out of certain areas, schools, universities, community colleges, hospitals. The reality is it's a violation of federal law. I've only been here, I think, 5 years, and it may be 10 or 15 times that the governor and the Democrats have violated federal law and it's been found unconstitutional, this will be exactly the same. And all it does is it confuses citizens, and it puts our citizens in jeopardy for these people that shouldn't be here in the first place. You guys had an earlier press conference this week of a tragedy to a family because of illegals that shouldn't be here. We have had so many instances of this. We need to make sure that our federal agents are able to do their job, and the state and the governor and Mayor Johnson, if they are going to violate law, put them in handcuffs and get them out of the way for those that will stand up for the people of Illinois, Democrat, Independent, or Republican. Safety is not a political issue.
Leader Freeze or
Yeah.
Adam?
Yeah,
Leader
it,
Freeze.
what we're really dealing with is a massive Democrat voter registration drive. And the Democrats need the undocumented, the illegal aliens here also for the census during redistricting, because they would lose House seats and in the House and in the Senate if they were not unable to count illegal immigrants here in the state of Illinois. So the guise of we're doing this under humanitarian efforts, we're here to help people and families, it's just a complete falsity. These folks are here illegal. We have violent illegal criminals committing horrible acts on the streets of this great state, and this is about the Democrats just trying to stay in power. Because if it was really about the people and about saving lives, they would have closed the border a long time ago, and Donald Trump wouldn't have had to do it. Because there are over 300,000 children that were put in the sex trade as a result of the cartels. Tom Homan is doing an outstanding job. And in our district, Chris and my district, there was a death of a Coles County board member and his wife at the hands of an a drunk illegal alien who was high and drunk and caused a traffic fatality in our district. And Governor Pritzker just wants to cover this up, and a vast majority of the media does not want to cover this particular issue. But that's the truth about what's happening in the state of Illinois.
I think it's important that everybody realizes that J.B. Pritzker doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about your children. He doesn't care about your family. He doesn't care about your job. He doesn't care about your electric bill. He flat doesn't care about any of the things that you care about. And it's important to watch what J.B. Pritzker does and don't listen to what he says, because he gets on the microphone and it sounds so sanctimonious and so loving and caring, but he's absolutely destroying the state of Illinois because of his bad public policies. And just, I know that in Politico this morning, he had written a letter to President Trump asking him to suspend the ICE investigations in the city of Chicago, so all the illegals could enjoy the Halloween holiday. You can't make it up. It's just beyond comprehension to me how little he cares about the everyday working families here in our state.
Exactly. Yeah. Leader Freeze, closing comments.
So I've seen interviews with Governor Pritzker and the other Democrats, and they talk about how ICE and the Border Patrol are enforcing our federal law. And the way they describe this is that these individuals roll up and they just start tear gassing people that are walking along the sidewalk or on a swing set, and it's absolutely insane the way they describe this. Everybody's seen the videos, and they're getting pummeled with rocks and other material. Yeah, there's no reason. There's obviously an understanding why they tear gas, because these guys are not peaceful protesters as the governor and everybody makes them out to be. They're violent thugs is what they are.
Right. Gentlemen, as we move on to issue 3, it's about transit. It's about the Chicago Transportation Authority, the RTA. This is a bill that made it out of the Senate at the closing hours in May, but didn't get into the House. It probably is going to have about as many versions as the energy bill had. SB 2111. We've got some stuff here on the board about it. Appears to be somewhat on life support. But gentlemen, I think there's an issue in here that the governor does care about. Chairman, you said the governor doesn't care about all of us. This is an issue that he does care about. It was going to put a tax of 4.95% on billionaires' unrealized gain. Leader McLaughlin, you're a finance guy. What's that about?
Yeah, that's tough to do. I've got holdings. We all have holdings. There's 60% of Americans that have stocks in their 401ks. Could you imagine being taxed on something that you haven't sold and has a gain?
Yeah.
I mean, it is financially impossible, and it is such an idealistic fallacy that you can go after even billionaires. And we have 127,000 people worth $1 million or more in the state of Illinois. If you were to take all of their wealth, we could probably run the government for about 9 to 10 months. So the idea that billionaires are going to save the state, small businesses, everyday mom and pops that are going to grow businesses, employ people, that's how we return Illinois back to prosperity. Not playing this envy game of wealth and non-wealth.
Right.
It's a Marxist ideology. All it does is cause division, and it's not healthy for anyone, whether it's Illinois or the federal government.
Yeah, the government's got to get out of the way though
Absolutely.
for us to do that. Though.
Well,
That's the problem.
Leader McLaughlin, are they going to give you your money back when you take losses on
Well, of
those
course,
unrealized gains?
only $3,000 a year. Only $3,000 a year. So, yeah, again, the government's there when you make it. As what do you say, Leader Miller? What is Reagan's
Well,
favorite thing?
if it moves, they tax it. If it keeps moving, they regulate it, and if it stops moving, they subsidize
There
it.
you
And
go.
what's really scary about this starts out as a billionaire's tax to try to pass muster with the working class people in the state of Illinois.
Right.
That's just the beginning. They will tax unrealized gains on working class people
course.
trying to get by. This will be something they will look at in the
Right.
future.
Absolutely.
Right. Once the camel gets its nose under the tent, Katie bar the door.
Yeah.
Sorry for all those analogies. Leader Freese, any thoughts from your perspective on this transit bill? What you're seeing going on in
Well, what we understand is that they're going to sweep funds from the road fund. Those from the gas tax, our understanding, that's not supposed to be that. They're supposed to maintain and repair our roads and bridges, which everybody's got roads and bridges in their district that are in dire strait. So they're going to sweep some of those funds for mass transit. It's unacceptable.
Yeah, so a few years ago, the lockbox amendment was passed to put the sales tax and all the money generated from the sale of gasoline or motor fuels, put it in a lockbox to be used to build roads and bridges. And now what do we find out a few years later? They want to sweep those funds to the tune of $800 million, which is the sales tax number, I believe. And then the interest that's earned on that, which is about $170 million, they want to sweep that and put it into the RTA and CTA. Gentlemen, we're seeing a sales tax, an RTA sales tax of 0.25% potentially, large ticket surcharges, $5 a ticket, 7% amusement tax. I mean, the list just goes on and on. I'll leave the door here to the
Yeah,
right
it's
side.
really they're just trying to find a way to come up with $1.5 billion.
Yeah.
I think is what they're trying to do, and it's looking like they're going to sweep it from the gas tax and then also raise rates on tolls in and around Chicago. So that's another reason they're going to do that. But really, they took a sledgehammer to that lockbox whenever they need money. So it just goes back to square one. Don't trust the Democrats, and they're always going to tax you.
Yeah, this is a perfect example, Leader Chairman, and I know this is near and dear to your heart. This is a bad deal when Republicans make deals with Democrats. What happens?
Absolutely. I mean, the thing that I'm amazed at from being in the General Assembly just a few years is how the Democrats continue to pull the wool over the eyes of the Republicans time and time and time again, and then they act like they're shocked when the Dem lie to them and tell them it's not going to be this way. But like Adam said, they didn't only just take a sledgehammer; they took a stick of dynamite and blew the lockbox. And it's just like what they've seen. That if they don't like the rules the way they are, they suspend the rules. If they don't like the way that things are going, they just change the rules in the middle of the stream. And so. One thing that we know is they don't play by the rules, so you don't dance with the devils. You don't cut deals with these dangerous Democrats because they're destroying the state, and it's all predictable. I have to be convinced to vote for a Democrat bill, especially a 1,000-page bill.
Right.
I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Right, exactly. Gentlemen, last issue of the day is assisted suicide. My understanding of this bill is hung up in the Senate. I don't know do we have an update on that? Anybody have any insight about what's going on?
Has it died in the Senate?
Well, so just corresponded with
Not without help.
Yeah.
Not without assistance.
Okay.
So it hasn't come up yet, according to Leader Chesney. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But they love death, so I wouldn't be surprised if it gets through.
It's an issue that they're passionate about.
Near and dear to their heart.
Right.
You know, and my concern is with that bill, it'll raise its head again if it's not now in this fall. I mean, when did we stop becoming advocates for life on the way into this world, while we're here, and on the way out? And somebody said on the floor today, if they could tax hospice, they would, before it's too late.
Before it's too late.
So,
With that, let's close out. Let's go a lightning round real quick. Leader McLaughlin, and we'll just come this way if we have a closing comment about the week in veto session or not. Just
simple civics lesson, guys, when you go out to the grocery stores this weekend, 2 million Illinoisans will not have their SNAP benefit cards, which is their food stamps, because the federal government and 5 Democrats have shut the government down. Be concerned about that. Again, 2 million Illinois families and citizens will not be receiving SNAP benefits. We could argue all day about whether and who should, but just be aware until the federal government gets this figured out. Grocery stores, a week from now, I can't even imagine what that's going to look like. So SNAP benefit removal, not a good thing for the public safety of people who need to be fed in the state of Illinois.
Just real quick, hang on to your wallets because we're not done here in Springfield yet. Sorry to say.
Chairman Miller?
Well, I think that one of the things that I've noticed is there seems to be an ongoing pattern of illegals getting drunk and killing Illinois citizens. So when you're out driving around this weekend, make sure that you pay attention to your surroundings and drive defensively, because you never know when that set of headlights is going to be coming towards you. And and one thing that I want you to know is that Marty McLaughlin and the rest of the Freedom Caucus members that are here are here to advocate for you. Only a dead fish goes with the flow, and we aren't the type of people that are going to go with the flow, but we're going to let our voices be heard. We're going to stand up for the voiceless people there in the state of Illinois and keep advocating for you on all these different issues that we touched upon today: energy, ICE, and transit, and assisted suicide. We know that these are kitchen table issues you care about, and so we're going to bring awareness of truth, logic, and common sense as we address these issues.
Leader Nieberg.
Yeah, folks, thanks for tuning in with us here this afternoon for a Veto Session update. Just keep watching, keep tuning in, keep praying for this state, and we'll keep you informed.
Yeah. And with that, thank you for tuning in. And as always, we appreciate that you would like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channels to help get the word out about what's really going on as we try to keep the campfire of truth, logic, and common sense burning, and conservatism.
And the American way.
And the American way, truth, and all of that. So with that, thank you all.